Hello everyone and welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I'm Rae. So there is a story today coming out of Uganda. There is a Chinese company called Simi Technologies. It came to Uganda in collaboration with the Ugandan government, and it's supposed to assemble small phones and put them into the Ugandan market. So its employees have been striking because of certain issues to do with the company and the management. So I'm going to run through these issues for you. Point number one, the employees are sleeping in an unfinished building, so they are not allowed to go home until Saturday evening, meaning you work from Monday to Saturday without going home, and you only go home on Saturday evening. But on top of that, the building where they sleep is unfinished and it has no washrooms. So meaning if you want to ease yourself during the night when you are at this building, you have nowhere to ease yourself from, and the washrooms are only within the factory building. But this building where they sleep, I think we're still within the factory premises. There are no washrooms at all. Point number two, there was introduction of pay as you earn, which is a tax, and national social security fund, which is also a tax here in Uganda according to the Ugandan law. So the problem is when they introduced this tax, some of the employees found themselves without any salary at the end of the month. In addition to that, some of them found themselves in negative. So National Social Security Fund is 15%, 5% by the employee, 10% by the employer. So there is no way, even though they deducted these taxes from your salary, you're supposed to remain with a certain amount of money. So if you remain with a zero, or if you stay in a negative, it only means you're earning almost nothing. In addition to that, they have been working for over a year. They have never gotten salary increment, and they are earning 8,000 Ugandan shillings. That's very little money. It's slightly above $2, and then they're also plus 2,000 shillings for lunch. That is less than $1. And on this money, that's where they deduct the taxes. Like, that's just ridiculous. I don't even know how this is happening. So these employees have been going on several strikes. I think they've done like 2 or 3 strikes so far because of these working conditions. The Ugandan government came into collaboration with this factory so that they can encourage, products of Uganda to be sold into Uganda. So the phone that they do assemble in this factory costs only 20,000 Ugandan shillings. That's very, very little money, and it also doesn't support the internet. So here are my thoughts, because this story is just beats my understanding. One, if you're trying to support, products made in Uganda, you don't need to invite Chinese, because this just doesn't add up for me. If you went to Makerere University is the biggest university in Uganda, and go to the ICT department and fund students and tell them, we are giving you money, come up with a phone, we are giving you this project, manufacture a phone. We have very many young sharp brains. Trust me, they're going to manufacture phones that are within Uganda. So why would the government find the need to collaborate with a Chinese company and bring it into Uganda? That just doesn't make sense for me. And moreover, these Chinese, when they come to Uganda, they start to mistreat Ugandans. They have very poor working conditions for the employees. They pay them almost nothing. How do you get paid 8,000 shillings, You wake up every day, they work up to late hours, you sleep at work, and you get paid 8,000 shillings. So when they're enforcing these laws, they have a Ugandan Chinese, some Ugandan man who is on the Chinese side, who threatens everyone that, if you don't want to work on these conditions, we are going to fire you. So why would the government keep supporting Chinese and bringing them? It just doesn't add up. Why can't it supporting young, innovative, creative minds? Ugandans can manufacture their own phone. You don't need Chinese to manufacture a phone. That's my point number one. Secondly, I feel our leaders are like too old, because a young mind would never think like that. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, because these people within the government, the leaders, sometimes I just think they need fresh ideas, They don't understand these things or something. Maybe they just need fresh ideas. Because why do they feel the need to keep on calling in foreigners all the time to come into our country? Like, why can't they support what we already have? But this is a very sad story. The problem we also have in Uganda is that there are very, very high rates of unemployment. So if they threaten these employees, we shall fire you, you won't have any work to do. COVID-19 came, the situation is not very good. People don't have jobs, most were laid off from work. So people are a bit desperate, are kind of desperate, but also the government favors investors a lot. It favors foreigners a lot. It just so, I just don't get it. It favors foreigners a lot, even when, like, no one cares about the people in government. They don't care about the people, because if the leaders who have authority don't support your needs, they don't put the needs of the Ugandans first, then Ugandans are going to keep suffering. If they keep bringing in foreigners, you know, giving them all the favorable conditions, and then the foreigners who have these big factories, they mistreat our fellow people. That's something to do with the government and the leadership, and that's a very huge problem. Definitely, it's until the leaders change that we can see, you know, maybe a change in a certain way. And we've seen many of these stories in African countries, actually, like Zambia. They have so many issues with Chinese as well, Kenya as well. So I think it's high time. Africa, if the African leaders don't do the right decisions, man, we are going to be in trouble. We are already in trouble, but there is like a second wave of colonialism coming with these Chinese, because the way they are coming into our country, giving out so many loans to us, and then our leaders just take the loans without any thinking. We don't know what's going to happen 10, 20 years from now. Us and our kids are going to be the ones to suffer these, you know, effects, because they are making these reckless decisions now, but they are failing to think about, you know, the future, what's going to happen to the future generations. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I share your thoughts below, and thank you so much for watching. Check out my YouTube channel. It's called Hot Stories UG, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Rae Kembabazi, and see you on the next story. Bye.